I know, I think we've all asked ourselves this question at some point. What's the best way to connect with something bigger? Well, the answer we're diving in today comes from this incredible, timeless dialogue, and it's a path known as Bhakti Yoga, the path of the heart. So let's just start right there with that universal question. What really is the truest way to connect? Call it the divine, the universe, consciousness, whatever it is for you. How do we actually find that connection? How do we make it real? So to get this, you have to picture this scene. It's absolutely epic. Imagine you've just witnessed the entire cosmos, all of time and space in a single mind-blowing vision. What would you even ask after seeing something like that? I mean, really try to wrap your head around this. The warrior Arjuna has just seen the whole of existence contained within his friend and guide Krishna. Every star, every galaxy, every lifetime. It's almost unbelievable, right? And after all of that, after witnessing infinity itself, he's left with just one single question. And this is the question he asks. It's so powerful because he's basically setting up this huge spiritual debate. He asks, Krishna, who's really closer to you? The people who worship your divine form, something I can see and relate to? Or is it the people who meditate on that formless, abstract, absolute energy that's behind everything? And that's really the heart of the dilemma, right? This fundamental choice that Arjuna lays out, it's a question that has echoed through spiritual traditions forever. Do you connect through something personal and tangible, or through the impersonal and abstract? Let's break this down a little. So on one side, you've got devotion to the divine form. This is a path of relationship, right? Seeing the divine in a personal, relatable way. But on the other side, you've got meditation on the formless absolute, that vast, infinite consciousness that underlies everything. That's more a path of intellect, of transcendence. Two totally different approaches. So which one is? Now, here's what's so beautiful about this. Krishna's answer is, well, it's gentle. He doesn't just pick one of Arjuna's options. He actually reframes the entire question. He kind of flips the whole thing on its head and reveals a completely different path, one that isn't centered in what you see or what you think, but in what you feel, in the heart. And this is the punchline, really. This is the core of his teaching. Krishna basically says, look, the truest connection, the thing that brings you the closest, has nothing to do with having the sharpest mind or the deepest philosophy. It's all about having a loving heart. See, the intellect can analyze, it can even create distance, but love is what closes that gap. And this path, it has a name. Bhakti Yoga. It's that simple. It's the yoga of loving devotion. The whole practice is about nurturing that connection, that feeling of love, right from the heart. It's a path of relationship above everything else. Okay, so it's one thing to say, have a loving heart, but what does that actually look like day to day? How does that translate into how we live our lives? Well, Krishna gives us a really clear and practical roadmap for this. He lays out these qualities, being kind to all beings, being free from ego, free from hatred, and staying steady, whether you're happy or sad. But here's the thing. These aren't just rules you're supposed to follow. They are the natural result of an open, connected heart. When you really feel that love, being kind just becomes who you are. So how do we actually do this? How do we bring this idea into the real world with all its messiness? Krishna's answer makes this path so beautifully simple and accessible for literally everyone. And for me, this is probably the most liberating part of the entire message. You don't have to go live in a cave. You don't have to retreat from your life to find this connection. And that's exactly why this path is so powerful. It doesn't ask you to change your life's circumstances, just to change your heart's direction within them. It really just boils down to these three things. First, love. That's the engine, the vehicle for the connection. Then, faith, which is just trusting in that connection. And finally, surrender, which is all about letting go of your ego's need to control everything and just trusting the flow. And by the way, for anyone who's curious about where this all comes from, this entire profound teaching, this beautiful conversation, is the very essence of the 12th chapter of the ancient text, the Bhagavad Gita. So we'll end by turning that question back to you, because this path isn't really about form or formless, intellect or ritual. It's all about the heart. So the real question is, where in your own life, in your relationships, at your job, in those quiet moments, where can you find and practice this path of loving devotion?